Good afternoon, class. Listen, just wanted to make this week 3 video. And let me first of all begin with your quizzes. It looks like, generally speaking, you guys did really well. I know some of you didn't do as well as you would like, but at least you have one under your belt, and you'll probably have a much better chance of doing really well in the next one. So keep studying, keep reading, keep doing the research that you'll need to do for your paper. Just keep pushing on, keep persevering. That's a big part of this course because it goes by so quick, and if we don't stay with it, it's very easy to get behind, and once we get behind, it's very difficult to catch up. So with that being said, let me just say the discussion boards this week, generally speaking, were a little bit better. I can see that some of you are really trying not only to write better, but also to get some of the forms better and to reply better. Let me talk a minute about the form. It appears that some of you just haven't really taken the time to look over the School of Divinity Writing Manual, and just let me suggest that you do that. It's very important that you just take note of the form and make sure that you're using the proper form. So go look at that manual. There's examples for the various types of works that you'll be using. There's a different form for a journal than there is for like the textbook. And there's a different form for the textbook than there is for the Rethinking the Synoptic Gospel, because that is a multi-edited book with many different authors, with various authors of the chapters. And so you need to look at how to properly cite that one. And you'll need that coming this week. And I'll certainly, I'm going to send you an email with an attachment of the SOD manual just so that you will look at it. Because as the term moves forward, I'm going to be less and less generous when it comes to the form, because by now, by the third week, you guys should be getting in the hang of the proper form. But anyway, so this coming week, really focuses on the synoptic problem. Now, the first question really is pretty straightforward. It asks you to define, what is the synoptic problem, but then also, what I want you to really focus on, not only defining it, telling me what the synoptic problem is, but is it a problem or is that a misnomer? Also, when you describe the synoptic problem, not only do I want you to highlight what is alike in the three synoptic gospels, namely Matthew, Mark, and Luke, but what are some of the similarities? So list those differences, but also list those similarities that have driven scholars to label the synoptic problem. And then also make sure that you answer each part of the question, each and every part of the question, as thoroughly as possible. That's been an issue with some of the discussion boards, so make sure you do that. The next question, the second one, is really, really straightforward. I mean, it tells you just simply to list out the various theories or solutions to the synoptic problem. Listen, list them and explain them. And when you explain what they are, list also the order in which that particular theory or perspective would order the synoptic gospels. Okay? And so just line those out. It's really easy. And then at the end, the last question has to do with which one do you think is the best solution? And give me a reasonable reply to that question. Sometimes students will say, well, I don't really know. Well, that's not good enough for master's level work. Think through which one best offers a solution to really source criticism. So that's, I think, very important. Then the last question has to do with the various criticisms: form criticism, source criticism, and redaction criticism. Of course, you need to define each one of those. Now, let me say this. The different criticisms are mentioned in different places. And so you're going to have to do a little tracking down to make sure that you get a good definition of especially form and source, as well as redaction. But really key on form criticism, because there are some things about form criticism that I want you to have in there. So make sure you get that, and then at the end, make sure you can explain the differences between the three. That will be, really helpful for your discussion board. And like I've already said, of course, answer every part of the question. But anyway, you got your paper coming up, and I know that you think that it's a long way off. Let me promise you that it's not. It'll be here so fast, it'll make your head spin. So start doing the research, start writing. Make sure you read over the directions for the Second Temple paper, and make sure you get enough resources. The textbook is not enough resource. It is a good resource, and you want to use your textbook, but you're going to need at least 5 to 7 scholarly sources. And I would look for sources that deal specifically with the intertestamental period, or Second Temple Judaism, and or Hellenism. So look for those types of sources. I've given you some hints of some that might be very helpful. And then when it comes to when you choose your one particular topic that you want to write the second half of the paper on, make sure you have 2 or 3 sources that focus just on that topic so that you can really have good depth to your research and good depth to your writing. All right. Okay, guys, man, I hope you have a great week. It is hot here in Roanoke, so stay cool.